Supervisors to order, and may I have a roll call, please?
Supervisor Giomi, Supervisor White, Supervisor Horton, Supervisor Schutte,
Here.
Mayor Bagwell.
Here.
You have your quorum.
Thank you so much. We're going to start off with agenda item number 3, and this morning, Ken Haskins is here to get us started.
Let's take a moment and pray. Our loving Heavenly Father, you are light. In you there is no darkness. You're the source of knowledge and truth, understanding and wisdom. And as you provided wisdom to Solomon to govern well, I pray for our supervisors and mayor that you would grant them the wisdom to understand clearly the issues before them today and make good and wise decisions on behalf of this community. I pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Ken, would you also lead us in the pledge?
Sure.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're now to opening public comment, and let's see, Mr. French, have you signed up first? Are you passing, Denny? No? Okay, Mr. Costa?
Good morning. My name is Mark Costa, resident of Carson City. The agenda for today's meeting does not include these major topics, but given their importance and upcoming deadlines, these topics need to be raised. The 2026 budget, due for implementation July 1st, is 2.5 months away. Is there any public discussion scheduled for any of the budget priorities and amounts to be expended? One item needing attention are the city's road conditions. The recently completed PCI survey shows continued deterioration and the need for additional funding or new ways of road maintenance and repair. The current budget actually shows maybe less money than what we had before. That part is not clear. Are there any alternatives? I've mentioned before previously using some of the general fund reserve. I understand that that's to continue to employ people in the event of an economic downturn, but the reserve has been used for capital improvements, and this is certainly a priority item that needs attention. Item number 2, according to many, the strategic plan being completed apparently does not adequately reflect the small town orientation much of the public expressed in town hall meetings and correspondence. There is also a proposed downtown project which also violates the small town orientation. Please review the strategic plan carefully and reject it if it does not meet the public's wishes. Thank you.
Thank you. Lindsay Boyer?
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Board of Supervisors. Lindsay Boyer for the record, Open Space Manager for Carson City. I just wanted to come this morning and invite everyone, the public, to our Carson River Open House. So this is happening on April 30th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. right here at the Community Center in the theater lobby area. So this will be a continuation of the Carson River Master Plan update process. The original plan was authored in 1996, so it's due for an update. We've been working for many years with various stakeholders to get that plan updated, and now is kind of the time to show the public what we've been working on. And then in addition to talking about the master plan, we'll also have several educational partners there sharing information about mercury in the river, water quality, flooding, so all important topics related to the river. And we'll even have an opportunity for the kids to help us develop a little Carson River mascot that will get used in various ways of the plan and stickers and fun things in the future. So Just want to invite anyone out there listening to who's interested in the river, who wants to comment on the river or learn more about the river, to come and attend our open house. So I have a flyer. I'll leave it on the back table for anyone who's interested, or they can reach out to me via email. My email's lboyer@carson.org. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll circle back around. Mr. French?
Thank you, Mayor. Denny French, Carson City, Nevada. First, I'd like to say it's nice to have everyone here to recognize employees' time at work and hope that they will continue on if, in fact, they feel it's the best thing to do. Anyhow, I'd also like to bring up the bee situation. Bees are in a desperate spiral right now. Also, the monarch butterfly is in danger of becoming on the endangered list. I think that corridors for respites and refills for insects that are migrating is very important, and I'd like that to start to be considered more seriously. Just watched a wonderful Nova on the subject. Thank you for also considering dandelions. Please let them grow a bit. That's one of the first stops for bees when they're coming into the new springtime. Please don't take out Russian olives. I didn't understand their full contribution as far as for insects and pollinators as far as species. They make great shade as well. And so to take those out just because they're not indigenous or native plants is ridiculous, since we're promoting people putting plants in their yards that are pollinator friendly, and we already have trees and such, including willows, that are being considered for removal because they're not native. And I think that's short-sighted. They've established themselves as hardy enough to deal with our climate changes and our seasonal considerations, and they're desperately needed for those insects for the pollination. I'd also like to ditto on the situation as far as any considerations for the land that the Hop May Adams Foundation might be offering or suggesting as a topic of consideration for the city. I'd like to know who the property's real owner will be at the end of that. Property ownership is huge as far as how we consider putting our hats in a barrel with, when we're not sure we're going to even own the property after 30 years. So thank you. Ownership is really the people in charge. So I'd like that to be considered. And I'd also just like to say for myself, coming to meetings is my act of social engagement. I take great pride in the fact that I keep as up as I can on agendas and those items, and I appreciate people looking at consent items a little deeper. I think some of those could maybe shift to regular agenda items. In this case, I got several answers before even the meeting, so I won't ask for anything to be pulled. Thank you very much.
I don't have anyone else listed for requesting public comment, but I'll just do a quick ask in case. Any opening public comment? Okay, I'm going to move on to the agenda then. We're on agenda item number 6. This is approval of our minutes. Does any member have any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion for approval, please. Supervisor Horton? Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was unanimous with one excused absence. We're now going to move down onto the floor so we can do all of our special presentations. So please join me there. So we're going to start off this morning with something, really, really special, and the chief is here to do this award.
Thank you, Mayor. So a few things before we get going too much. First, I'd like to invite Robert Berger and Lucas O'Brien to come up here to be with me for a second. So when we recognize the things that make Carson City great, we certainly have a beautiful community that we live in, the mountains, shortly Lake Tahoe, which is actually a part of Carson City. But what makes this community truly great, I believe, is our citizens. It is our citizens that are always willing to help a hand, who are compassionate, and who are always willing to just say hi and to be a friend. The recognitions we're going to talk about today are people that actually put themselves in harm's way to help other citizens out. Today, we have several awards. We like to recognize significant achievements both in our organization and in our communities. And we have several, in the fire department, we have several award recognitions for citizens when they go above and beyond to save a life or to put themselves in harm's way to prevent harm. Today, we're going to recognize Mr. Berger and Mr. O'Brien with the Chief's Medal of Commendation. The Chief's Medal of Commendation may be awarded to individuals who render initial, spontaneous, and valuable aid or assistance at an incident in which the Carson City Fire Department and Carson City Sheriff's Office are responding. To qualify, the aid or assistance should result in a reduced injury or a loss to the party receiving aid. On January 1st, 2025, Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Berger were driving on College Parkway when they came upon a single vehicle accident rollover. The vehicle had landed on its wheels in the eastbound lanes on College Parkway. The vehicle's engine compartment had already burst into flames, and the two occupants were trapped inside with multiple traumatic injuries. Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Berger immediately exited their vehicle and ran to the two trapped victims. Without the aid of tools or protective equipment, they were able to force open the doors of the vehicle and rapidly extricate both victims before the fire spread into the passenger compartment. The victims were removed to a safe location. Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Berger called 911 and requested the assistance of Carson City emergency response personnel. Upon arrival, the fire department crews extinguished the fire and rendered aid to both of the victims of the injury of the accident. Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Berger are being awarded with the Chief's Medal of Commendation.
Pretty exciting. Wow, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you sincerely. I'm betting you're going to wear those everywhere, right?
So I think it's also important to note, Luke has a family service of tradition, or a tradition of service to Carson City. Both his dad and his brother are Carson City firefighters, and we hope to get you into our field shortly. So thank you, gentlemen. So next, I'd like to invite Robert Russell up. Is Mr. Russell here? There you are. How you doing, sir? Welcome. So Mr. Russell is being awarded our highest Citizens Award, and that's the Medal of Honor. The Carson City Citizens Medal of Honor is the highest award for a civilian and may be awarded to individuals who distinguish themselves by extraordinary bravery and heroism. On March 1st, at approximately 8:37, a fire broke out due to a gas explosion at 20 College Parkway in unit number 315. The sound of the explosion alerted neighbors, including Mr. Russell. Upon hearing the noise, Mr. Russell exited his apartment to investigate. He walked around to the back of the apartment and he found the upstairs window blown out into the parking lot and observed smoke and flames coming from the hole of the window where the window once was. Robert quickly recognized what had happened, ran back to the front of the apartment complex, and grabbed a fire extinguisher. He broke the glass with his fist to get the extinguisher out and then made his way into the apartment unit and began to attack the fire. During this time, Mr. Russell opened that door. He entered and located a victim in the back bedroom. He used the fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire in the room and then grabbed the victim who was still on fire. During this, the neighbor saw the commotion and ran into the apartment and assisted Mr. Russell in carrying the victim out onto the front lawn. The second civilian's rescuer's identity currently remains unknown. Mr. Russell acted beyond the normal call of duty. He placed himself in harm's way, risked his life to save another and to prevent the fire from spreading and certainly saving countless units as well as potential lives. For his actions, on March 1st, Robert Russell is being awarded with the Carson City Fire Department Citizens Medal of Honor. Robert, congratulations.
Come on in the picture. I should have done that with the last. I'm so sorry. I usually think ahead of that. Come on in and celebrate this moment with us. Your son? Yes. Oh, pretty spectacular. Yes. Okay. I don't know how we're going to top that today. Okay. That's pretty spectacular. Okay, we're going to move on to Agenda 7B, which is our proclamation for Arbor Day. Hard to believe that's coming up already. But I think this one will please Denny. I think we wrote it just for you. No. So whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. So I'd say that was a commitment, wasn't it, when they said to do that. Whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever trees are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Carson City is proud to have been recognized for 20 consecutive years as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to maintain the requirements for receiving this prestigious recognition. Carson City and the Carson City Rotary Club welcome you to join us to plant a new tree in honor of the 250th anniversary of George Washington taking command of the Continental Army at City Hall on April 25th at 10:15 a.m. Now, therefore, I know it's sad. We're doing one. They did 1 million in Nebraska. We're close. But I, Lori Bagwell, Mayor of Carson City, Nevada, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 25th as Arbor Day in Carson City. I urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forest program. Further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote well-being of present and future generations. Do you want this, or I'll give it to the Rotary? Let me give that one to the Rotary since they paid for the tree and everything to be a community partner. Next, we have a proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Do we have some people to celebrate with? Come on up here. Let's celebrate. Yep, come on, the fire chief too, right? Yeah, look at this. Shh, I was just going to say, Carson City is in very good hands right now. Right? No emergencies allowed. I like that answer. Oh, there you go. Okay, so this is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, which is April 13th through the 19th. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. Whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. Whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Carson City Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center. Whereas the public safety dispatchers are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Whereas public safety dispatchers are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics, monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring public safety. Whereas the public safety dispatchers of Carson City's Office of 911 Communications have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each public safety dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their jobs this past year. Years, I should have put years, because it's years. They truly are dedicated. Now, therefore, I, Lori Bagwell, Mayor of Carson City, Nevada, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025, as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Boy, is that not the truth? Come on up here. And I don't know. Kenny, did you want to say anything?
You know, gosh, they do so much more. I did start as a dispatcher and we were right shut down. I can't say that. But as Curtis and I know, they do so much more. Our natural disasters that hit have most often been in a public works format, and what these folks do to make sure that all of our public safety entities, all of our departments are coordinated responses, and that we get the vital information as rapidly as possible so that we can react. Many of these folks just completed our crisis intervention training because dispatchers are the first ones very often hit with that crisis, and that stabilization of that service prior to us getting there really adds to our safety here in this community. So without question, thank you all for everything that you do. These are the faces of the voices that we never get to see.
True, so true. And if I need to print more of those, because more of your staff would like copies. Oh, good, because I would be happy to print more, so just let me know. Is there any other family or friends and things that want to jump in a picture with them, or do we have everybody? Do we have them? All right. Yeah, it has to be real, right? You got to get in. All right. Get it? Again,
Thank you, guys.
thank you. Really, thank you for all you do. I so appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. I am starting to wonder if there's any staff anywhere. This is pretty good. So the next item on the agenda is our quarterly award for an employee. and it's a nomination done by a different employee to say something spectacular. So I really like this award because it's employees recognizing employees, so it's kind of special. So how about it? How about Guy Bovard? Come on up. I'm already doing good. Doing good. Okay. So, whereas Carson City's quality of life attracts talented and loyal employees, right? Whereas every day Carson City employees put to use their broad array of skills and expertise with efficiency and integrity for the benefit of everyone in our city. Whereas Carson City values its employees and acknowledges that recognizing them for their hard work and dedication is critical to the future health and growth of our city. Whereas we owe a substantial debt of gratitude to the employees and applaud those who go above and beyond in their loyalty and ability. Whereas Guy Bovard has shown exemplary commitment to his job. With his dedicated service, he was able to assist a defendant through a serious medical episode, thereby contributing to the fulfillment of the city's mission, values, and vision. Now, therefore, I, Lori Bagwell, Mayor of Carson City, celebrate the dedicated accomplishments of Guy Bovard in serving the community and do hereby proclaim Guy Bovard to be Employee of the Quarter. Woohoo! Woohoo! I might have I don't know, I kind of like that medal I saw a little earlier for, I'm like, shoot, we might have to make a change here, but we do have $200 to thank you for all that you've done. Do you have family that would like to, you want to jump in the picture? We have time, trust me. Did they stay? Did they stay? Okay. And just in case, the first two medal winners, if do you have family that's here with you? Well, then come on up and let's do a picture with the family. I inadvertently skipped right over that. It's important, right? It's important. Come on up, right? Yeah, huh? You're like, yeah. Pretty special, huh? Pretty special. Yeah, let's, come on. Oh, good. Let's say, wait. All right, good. Yay, and again, thank you all. You must be so proud. Oh, pretty proud. Pretty phenomenal. Amazing. Okay. All right. I know you're not going to believe me, but I have more. So now it's the time where we like to recognize the employees for sticking around, and then we beg them to stick around a lot longer because they're so good, we need them. So we're going to start off with Matthew Cooper, who's a fire captain for 10 years. Oh, and a student? Oh, my goodness. 10 years? I know that went fast. I'm like, 10 years? That's got to be impossible. Are you going to say, well, yeah.
All right, so it's my pleasure to brag a little bit about Captain Cooper. Matt Cooper is truly one of those quiet and always smiling leaders in an organization. He is somebody that's always willing to step up and fill areas that are not needed. He has been a training captain in the organization, and he has also been the lead cadre member of developing what we call our engine operations manual. And from a technical point of view, bringing it down to the simple terms, our organization developed a standard operating procedures and guidelines on how we operate on all fireground emergency incidents. And Captain Cooper was the lead captain on developing that book. And it is a book that will be that is memorialized in the organization and will be in effect for the rest of all of our careers. So, Captain Cooper, we look forward to many more great years of your leadership and your contributions to the organization. And I just want to say thank you.
Next up, how about Cassandra Kosel, Public Safety Communications Supervisor. Woohoo! You're getting your picture done twice. You know, that's extra special. But thank you so much for your 5 years and 25 to go. Am I being greedy? 25? Give or take. That could mean a lot of things, huh?
You can be greedy all you want. We love her. Yeah, Cassandra, I spoke about the communications operators and the things that happen out there. Somebody has to be always looking over the detail to make sure that nothing gets skipped, that our people that are coming in for a new career, that they get all of the guidance and all of the training that is required to become a public safety operator. And that period it can take up to 8 to 12 months easily. Cassandra has been just a jewel for the sheriff's office. She's a jewel for all of public safety, always on that front line, and I've never seen her shake a bit. She just takes on every challenge wonderfully. So congratulations.
We'll bring them all back up when we're done and their families to take a group shot. So next up is Paul Robbins, Deputy Sheriff. Yeah, see there? 5 years. 5 years of dedicated service to the community. How many more? I'm going to force it. I'm trying to get it on the record, so that it matters. Thank you so much for your service.
Paul is unique. 5 years, he has just been a phenomenal deputy for the sheriff's office from the very first day. What an operating intelligence mind this gentleman has. You mentioned Cooper, these quiet leaders, these quiet, phenomenal leaders, and that's what Paul is. He did an outstanding job out in the patrol division. I'd like to call it that when he was out there was a submarine out there somewhere, and that was Paul. He moved over to our detective division, where he acts in those capacities where those cases that require larger resources, more time commitment. Paul is right on that front line and truly a leader within his organization, which is supported here today by everybody. Congratulations, Paul.
Okay, and the last one for this morning is Billy Shadron, Judicial Assistant for 5 years. And I'll go ahead, even though I'm not the courts and stuff, 20 more? I'm asking on behalf of the judge. 20 more, 30 more, right? We'll see. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, there you go. So thank you so much for your service.
All right, so Billy, actually today is her 5-year anniversary. And what's important to note is she received her offer letter from Judge Wilson, who was the judge at the time, March 10th of 2020, 7 days before the COVID pandemic hit. And so then he had to send out a letter to let everybody know that she was essential to the courts, that she needed to come from Florida, where she had worked for a judge for 17 years as a family law court, and came from Florida to Carson City traveling, had to be able to stay in motels along the way during COVID. Not an easy task, but Billy's not one to be deterred. So she made her way here, stayed at the Hardman House until she found housing, and then started 5 years ago. She's been a tremendous asset to the court. We have quite a significant caseload. She assists me in processing all of that. She assisted me in my transition to the court. We have a great working relationship together. She's very strong-willed, strong-minded. There's no task that's too difficult. She gets through it, and I would love to have her for another 20 years, but I'm not sure I can get that far with her, but definitely more than 5. And so anyway, as as I stand here this morning with all the great people we've honored, I'm so grateful to have Billy working with me. It's a privilege.
That's all right. So if everyone that got a certificate would come on up for a group picture, come on. And then is there family, friends, and I consider family coworkers. I don't know. We spend as much time with them. So everybody come and jump in the picture if you're work shifts with them or any of that kind of stuff. Come get in our big group picture that we love to do. Come on, come celebrate. We don't get enough of that. Thank you. We don't, right? You know, we're going to have to talk about something because somehow the courts keep getting flowers. I know. Hey, Daddy, don't, come on. Aren't you got some people in here? We're all family. Yeah, family affair. Get in here.
Come on, Drum Jim, hang out with the cool kids up here.
No, we're looking a little unbalanced here. Help me out. Help me out. All right. Perfect. Thank you all. Again, thank you all for all your service. Okay. That was too much fun. That was awesome. It was a good start to the morning.
What do you mean by respect?
What I used to do was say respectfully submitted, and then it's Scott's signature. I signed it as Scott's.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I've done that before.
Okay, we're going to come back to order for the agenda. We're on our consent agenda. Does nobody requested a pull? May I have a motion, please? Oops. Supervisor Horton, push the button. You ready?
I move to approve the consent agenda consisting of item 8A, 9A, 10A, 11A, 12A, 13A, 13B, 14A, and 14B.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Let the record reflect it was 4 yeses and 1 absent. Thank you. We're now on to agenda item 16. This is where we have our meeting discussion and any actions that we want concerning legislative activity. Mr. Gresh, do you have a report for us this morning?
Good morning, Supervisors. Cameron Gresh, Carson City Government Affairs Liaison for the record. So a bit of a shorter update for you here this morning. Sorry, before I continue, I do need to mention the list of legislation that Carson City is currently tracking is viewable on carson.org/legislature. So of the 423 bills Carson City was tracking going into Friday's committee passage deadline, 309 of those bills achieved committee passage, about 130 of those with amendments. I do want to go ahead and take a moment to update the board on the status of legislation I've previously discussed before this body and where it is as we wait for this upcoming Tuesday, which is the first House passage deadline. This means that any bills, except for those that are exempt, such as ours, which I'll talk about here in a moment, any bills that have now made it past the first hurdle of committee passage now must be voted off of the floor of their chamber of origin by the end of Tuesday next week, or else they are also dead. So with that, I'll go ahead and start with AB 32. I will note here, our bill is exempt, so these deadlines I just mentioned do not apply to us. We are in the Ways and Means Committee right now. We participated in a hearing some weeks ago to describe the bill to that committee. Its presence in Ways and Means is because the Legislative Council Bureau was asked to provide a fiscal note on the cost of conducting the study that the bill would mandate. And so we are right now working with members of that committee following that hearing to make sure that they don't have any other outstanding questions. And then we will be working to ensure that it gets a work session and then is voted out of that committee. And then after that, it will be on to House passage, the same as every other bill going into Tuesday. But moving on from AB 32, I want to talk about some of the other pieces of legislation I spoke about, especially those at the last meeting. So first off, we have AB 332 and AB 469. These were similar bills that both, in addition to other provisions, had a provision in there about removing the salary cap for workers' comp insurance claims. Those bills are both dead. They did not make it out of their committee. And then moving on to public records, AB 152 and SB 51. AB 152 was the historical records bill. SB 51 was the common format for public information requests bill. Both of those bills are also dead and failed to achieve committee passage. SB 324, which is a bill from Senator Melanie Scheibel regarding the prohibition for sale of water bottles under 4 liters in size in any community that abuts the Lake Tahoe watershed. Our county boundary, as discussed last meeting, does extend to the middle of the lake, and we are actively engaging with the sponsor of that legislation to determine its original intent, its intended scope. As it's currently stated, it would seem to prohibit the sale of those water bottles in all of Carson City, ironically also at the legislature, at the legislative building, which does sell those. Just a point of irony there. So Moving on to the last item, I just want to give everybody an update on SB 402. That is the funding mechanisms for old building rehabilitations. The board ordered staff to testify in support of that legislation unanimously, and I did so the following week. That bill is live. It did make it out of committee in a 50-bill work session from the Senate Government Affairs Committee on Friday night. And with that is kind of the end of my update here following the first House passage of the 300 or so bills that we're tracking. My next follow-up will be what we are looking at being amended moving into the last month and a half of the legislature. As of right now, we are in kind of a lull. Following committee passage, there are no more hearings because there are no more bills to send to the floor. Now it is up to members to vote on the hundreds of measures that survived committee passage. As of right now, the Assembly has voted on a handful of measures. The Senate has not voted on any. The deadline is the end of the day, Tuesday, the 22nd. And that is my legislative update for today, unless the board has any questions or any other items they'd like me to consider.
Does any member have a question? No? Thank you for your report. Wonderful, I think. Okay. We're now going to move to agenda item 17A, which is discussion and possible action regarding the Cultural Commission 2024 annual report. Anna? Are any members of your board here for the Cultural Commission? Okay, just making sure. Try not to skip people, right, for recognition. Uh-oh, it doesn't like you this morning? Technical difficulties? That's the artist dinner. And the paper version, if necessary, is in the binder there, if that will help just refresh your ability to walk through the presentation. Oh, there we go. Ta-da. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Anna Freeman. I serve as the Recreation Program Supervisor for Arts and Culture in the Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Department. And here are some of the things I've been up to in the last year. Classes and workshops. I'm currently the one and only staff member in the Arts and Culture program in the Recreation Division, so I've personally led several classes and workshops, but I'm also working through partnering with contract instructors, volunteers, and nonprofit organizations to increase programming for the public. It's been almost a year now since the community tile art workshops that you can see in the corner there. I laid out a really simple design based on the department logo, and over 300 community members painted individual tiles. I hosted 4 workshops on Saturdays that were free and open to the public, as well as leading groups at the Boys and Girls Club and Camp Carson. I started teaching music and art taught time at the end of October, seen top center and the bottom right there. This is for 1 to 5-year-olds with a grown-up, and we're exploring skills and concepts for both music and visual art. The rosters for those have been consistently full with wait lists. So I've invited staff from other programs in the Recreation Division who have experience with that demographic to shadow me and learn the process. There is still demand for more of these classes, but additional qualified instructors are needed to further this program and similar opportunities. The picture on the top right is from the Cinco de Mayo Celebración, making papel picado with kids of all ages. And I'll be doing that again this Cinco de Mayo, so anyone interested in joining me, volunteers are welcome. I mentioned briefly that I did the tile project with Camp Carson, which is one of the city's most important youth programs. I'm working to offer more art activities with Camp Carson this summer by teaching art lessons once a week for those campers who will be entering kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grades. Nevada Humanities brought 2 workshops to Carson through its Sagebrush to Sandstone program, a literary nature walk, and a cyanotype workshop. Sierra Arts Foundation has hosted several classes and camps, and So Happy Sewing School is offering sewing classes. If you know someone who may be interested in teaching art classes, please encourage them to contact me. Contract teachers can set the cost of their classes, and the funds collected are split 70% to the teacher and 30% to the teacher. I'm sorry, 70% to the teacher, 30% to the city. Public art. It's been a big year for public art in Carson City. Catch by Hayel Hoffman has been at Carson Ridge for a few years, but it was just officially donated and accepted into the public art collection in 2024. The tile workshops I mentioned before culminated in this piece called For Stan. From Headlights to Spotlight and Poppies are 2 new murals added in 2024. Rocky the Squirrel is this cute statue seen in the bottom center here, which can be found in real life just on the other side of Mills Park. Sense of Place was installed in December, and I apologize, I don't have a good picture of it yet, but there was also a metalwork piece featuring a golden eagle and mountain bluebird, what was also donated and accepted into the public art collection in 2024. Just a couple of maintenance notes. If you don't know, Michelle Riley, the artist who created Inside the Mind of Da Vinci, has come out many times and donated her time for maintenance on that piece. She has moved out of the area, but has still come to care for Da Vinci when she's in town. Parks, Recreation, and Open Space staff cleaned out some smoke damage that occurred inside from an unauthorized campfire and replaced the ground lights for Da Vinci. Our streets operation team in the Public Works Department reattached a fallen Basque sheep and replaced the pilot, also known as a cow catcher, on the train engine shown there. I'm working to get the public art collection inventory up to date, and I have already submitted my recommended edits for the public art policy, so those will hopefully be coming to you at a public meeting sometime this year. And before I move on from this slide, I just want to acknowledge and thank everyone who has contributed to the creation, acquisition, and maintenance of this public art. It truly takes a village. Thank you. And moving right along, events. A big one this past year was the 50th anniversary of our theater here. And you can see the backstage tour and face painting that were part of the block party and several of the groups who consistently contribute to the community with their performances here. Bonanza is the biggest event on my plate. We no longer have hundreds, we have thousands of trick-or-treaters annually in Mills Park for this event. The businesses and organizations who volunteer to host these trick-or-treat booths continue to impress, and it's a really fun family event. I'd love to be able to spread the event out more throughout the park to alleviate some pinch points and crowdings. We have plenty of space in the park, but we do need more lights and more volunteers in order to be able to expand. Special thanks goes out to Southwest Gas, Carson City Toyota, Quick Space, United Rentals, PCC Structurals, and Nevada Health Link. Thanks to these event sponsors, we're able to host this free community event. And of course, with all that new public art, we've had several ribbon cutting events and one silly squirrel celebration. In lieu of a traditional ribbon cutting, we celebrated the new statue, Rocky the Squirrel, with games, songs, crafts, and stories all about squirrels. And again, I'm telling you, I can't do this on my own. Big thank you to Jeff Schoenberg and the Letter Factory, Carol Scott and the Wild Horse Children's Theater, Haley Wilson and the Carson City Library, and our new friends at Silver Squirrel Designs, who all contributed to Squirrel Day. Just a little bit about the redevelopment arts and culture grants. The amounts have changed from year to year depending on availability, but organizations have received between $2,000 and $15,000 per fiscal year for arts and cultural events that support the city's quality of life goals. Through grants and other agreements with nonprofits, valuable arts programming and events are offered in a fiscally responsible, cost-effective manner. Anytime the goals outlined in the city's master plan, the city's arts and culture strategic plan, and the redevelopment plan are aligned with the goals and missions of nonprofit organizations, the city is able to leverage that funding incredibly efficiently. Current eligibility requirements are that funds be used by Northern Nevada nonprofits to support the execution of one arts and culture project, event, or series. In fiscal years 2023 and 2024, scores were weighted to prioritize new projects, and organizations were allowed to submit one new project up to $10,000 and one recurring project of up to $5,000. In fiscal year 2025, our current year, organizations were only allowed to submit one project up to $5,000, and a one-to-one match requirement was added. In FY 25, award assurances and an expectation to notify the city if awards would be unused were also added, as well as some technical requirements such as an active incorporation status with the Nevada Secretary of State and an active UEI on sam.gov. I will continue monitoring and auditing to ensure all public funds trusted to external organizations through this grant program are utilized appropriately and efficiently. And I encourage you to check out the wonderful programming that these nonprofits are providing in the community. I have a quick snapshot of the budget. Shown here are the budgeted and actual amounts for fiscal year 2024. Of the $50,000 authorized for expenditure for this program annually from the redevelopment revolving account, $25,000 is encumbered for those redevelopment arts and culture grants, and the other $25,000 is for all other program services and supplies. That annual budget is currently on a use it or lose it basis. So you can see here, although $50,000 was authorized to be spent in fiscal year 2024, the actual amount spent was $33,208 in city funds and $6,930 from grants. This fiscal year, the program applied for $12,000 in grants and was awarded $10,600. Under other, you can see there's also $10,000 that was not originally budgeted this year, which is a partnership with the Health and Human Services Department for a new event called Meet the Orchestra, connecting hundreds of local youth to performing arts experiences. Our local McDonald's, 395 Motorsports, and Paint Mart are confirmed sponsors for our new out-of-the-box signal box painting program. But there are still several sponsorship opportunities available. Please help spread the word. Talk to your friends and neighbors, share on social media. Anyone interested in volunteering, becoming a contract teacher, or sponsoring an event or program, please contact me. My email is at the bottom of the slide, afreeman@carson.org, and I can take any questions.
Does any member have any questions? Supervisor Schutte.
This is actually more of a comment. First of all, thank you for all you do, and it's amazing. And we hear so much about wanting a small town feel and wanting that sense of community. And these examples are perfect examples of what community is, and that sense of coming together. Involving kids, involving adults, involving different kinds of art and different outreaches. So kudos to you and thank you for helping our lovely town have that small town feel.
Thank you.
Any other member? No? Just, I'm super excited that I actually heard the Signal project on the news. So it's great to see it getting widespread marketing, one would say, right? That hopefully just it piques their interest to say, I want to get involved and how do I do that? And I really want to give a shout out to McDonald's for, I'm not going to say he pestered me for a while, but he really wanted to do it. He really wanted to make this happen. He thought it would be great for our community. And so thank you for all the work. And I'm sure Public Works also, but for the team really coming together to say, let's give this a try and see if there can't be something else and beautify some of these spots around town. So super excited to see that come to fruition. So maybe you just want to highlight something on that. There's an open application period or so the news said for date to be able to get one. Just expand a little bit in case all those people listening or people in the audience go, wait, I do want to do this.
Thank you for the question. Anna Freeman for the record. Yes. Applications to submit proposals for public art on the traffic signal boxes are open April 20th through May 20th. And the full details can be found at carson.org/arts, as well as the application there. I really want to encourage Carson City artists to apply, and we've tried to eliminate some of the barriers that are occurring in similar programs. So you do not have to submit a full resume and portfolio. It's really just a small statement about the art you design and why it would be a good fit. So it's really a great opportunity for first-time public artists, as well as any artists under 18 can apply as long as they have their parent's signature on that.
I think that's what's really special is that, right, that we can maybe organically really grow the arts that way too, and we can see some unique perspectives or maybe as Supervisor Schutte said, somebody will draw something that really does show why we're this small town and what we love about it. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Anybody else? I'll just ask, I don't think we really need a motion on this, but we can have one if somebody, go ahead. Oh, wait. Is there any public comment? Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
I move to accept the Cultural Commission Annual Report and Work Plan as presented.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was 4 yeses and 1 absent. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Keep up the great one-man show. Yeah. We're now on to agenda item 17B, which is discussion and possible action regarding the relocation of easements to realign Railroad Drive through the reservation of 30,494 square feet for public access and public utility easement, and a 9,375 square foot, 10-foot wide, oh yes, these are fun ones, trail connection and public utility easement on Carson City-owned land for public access and utility access, respectively, all located on Assessor's Parcel Number 010051-40, known as Linear Park, at no cost. Also, to a quick claim by Scotch Ocean LLC to Carson City of the existing 30,542 square foot, 60-foot wide private access easement and right-of-way, also located on APN 010051-40 at no cost, and authorization for the city staff and the mayor to take all necessary actions, including executing the necessary application. Wow, this is a long one. And other documents to convey the easements and accept the quick claim of the easement. Jennifer, can you tell us why this is necessary?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Supervisors. Jennifer Budge, Parks and Recreation Director. Carson City acquired approximately 42 acres of land for outdoor recreation purposes using land and water conservation funds. LWCF brings significant restrictions to public parklands in perpetuity. The parcels located are from Roop Street, north of Governor's Field, and extend all the way east to the I-580 freeway. There's an existing 60-foot wide access easement over the larger 36-acre parcel intended for secondary access to the Blackstone development and to access what's currently Lampa Ranch. The current easement would bisect the city's parcel once built and is not in the best location for access for the Blackstone development, which is proposed south of the park parcel. This item before you today would authorize relinquishment of the existing parcel, or existing easement and relocate the easement along the southeast portion of the park parcel. The relocation will accommodate the access needed for the development's secondary access standpoint while allowing for pedestrian access to be perpetuated all the way to Fifth Street beyond the park parcel. There's no net loss of parkland with the relocation, and a new path will be constructed in conjunction with a public utility easement, improving recreation opportunities for the public at no cost to the city. The National Park Service has provided a letter of concurrence regarding the proposal, and I've met with them, and they're satisfied with the application.
Perfect, thank you. Does any member have a question? Pretty basic one. Is there any public comment on this item, Mr. French?
Thank you, Mayor. Denny French, Carson City, Nevada. It suggests that there is no cost to the public, but there's a maintenance cost if, in fact, these areas are going to be asphalted or otherwise determined to be tended by the city or by the utilities or by the development. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no other question, any other public comment? I'll accept a motion. Supervisor Shooty.
I move to approve the proposed reservation of easements and accept the quit.
Oh, yours was shorter than mine, come on.
Quit claim of the easement deed as presented and authorize the mayor and staff to execute all other necessary documents related to facilitating the relocation of the easements.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was 4 ayes and 1 absent. Thank you so much. We look forward to improved access there. We're now on to agenda item 18, which is our non-action items. You have anything? Ms. Paulson?
Just real quick, our next meeting on May 1st will be all about the budget in the morning, and then time certain at 5:30, we'll be discussing the master plan.
I don't know. Should we declare that a Jean Day? It might be an all-day workload. Okay. Anybody else have anything to share? All of us? No? Okay. Then we'll move to final public comment. I have any? No? Great. Well, then if there's no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you for a good meeting.